the one we've all been waiting for, and it's a sellout. Germany against the Lionesses here at London's Wembley Stadium. 83,000 tickets have been sold for this match. If they all come tonight, well, it will smash all records for watching women's football in this country. Enjoy the moment, because this is history.
When I first began playing football for England, things looked a little different than they do now. We didn't have full-time contracts. Playing football was a passion, not a career. But slowly, people began to take note. Our fans followed us over land and sea. Finland, 2009. We ended a 25-year wait to reach a Euros final. Who could forget Canada 6 years later, bronze at the World Cup? The Lionesses had found their roar. The talk of a nation as millions followed our World Cup journey in France this year. Record-breaking viewing figures, more column inches than ever before, trending on social media. Now people know who we are. And now we've sold out Wembley. Part-time to prime time. Our future has never looked brighter. But the story has just begun.
The voice of Alex Scott, who's somewhere in Elstree warming up for Strictly Come Dancing right now, and that personifies the journey that women's football has been on, and it continues with this. England-Germany, one of football's greatest rivalries, in front of a crowd which includes these former Lionesses being honoured tonight. And so many celebrations of the women's game going on here. But questions being asked of this current side. They come into this game with just one win from their last four. And those, of course, are post-World Cup friendlies. There's definitely been a lull, and it's all intensified the pressure on manager Philip Neville. Well, for a stellar occasion like this, even if it is in pouring rain here in London, we have a stellar lineup. Kelly Smith, record goal scorer for England, and former England keeper Rachel Brown-Finnis join me for what we're hoping will be a record. They've certainly sold the tickets. Whether the rain puts people off this November night, we don't know, but it is a milestone worth marking.
Definitely so, Gabby. You know, I've got goosebumps being here pitchside, seeing all these faces here for a potentially sold out women's game. You know, Rachel and I started playing on the national team 20 odd years ago. We were playing in front of maybe 200, and it grew to 2,000, 3,000. Now we're selling out stadiums. You know, the commercial interest is there, the TV are interested. These players now are household names, and it's just fantastic for the women's game, and I'm just so proud to be a part of it.
Absolutely. It's going to be quite an emotional evening, I think, for a lot of people who've been on that journey and actually the kind of recent trajectory. But one thing remains the same, and that Germany are a very difficult side for England to overcome. I'm not sure that this is a friendly that you really want when a team's been in a lull, because just one win in 25, and that was earned 4 years ago, tells you what a tricky foe they have been for England.
Yeah, I mean, I made my debut against Germany, came on at half-time. We're already 4-0 down, and I thought, oh my goodness, playing up against the likes of Birgit Prince, you know, a legend of the game at centre-forward for Germany, and they haven't really looked back. You know, European Championships, World Cups, Olympics, and that's why our statistical record against them isn't very good. But this could be a really good time for England to start afresh after the lulling performances that they've had since the World Cup. You know, this could be a clean slate today.
I wonder if that lull partly was always inevitable. There was going to be a little feeling of the shoulders going down, all the hard work that went into that, and the disappointment then of not making it through to the final. But I wonder if also coming back and having to play friendlies as opposed to getting involved in a qualifying campaign has also kind of meant that the foot has been taken off the gas a little bit longer than it ordinarily would.
You could say that, you know, coming from a World Cup, the experience that you have out there, playing big crowds, big TV audiences, and then you come back and to get into a friendly environment, it's hard to explain, but it's a different feel to it. You don't have to win the game, but the England players want to go out there and perform. But yes, the performances haven't been the best the last few games, but I'm just hoping to hear today that they come out, they express themselves, they play with a smile on their face, and they get back to winning ways, and they entertain these thousands of fans that have come to support them today.
Yeah, that's what we want as well, isn't it? Some attacking football, some energising football, and the team that has been selected tonight, well, we've just had a sneak preview of it that Phil Neville has selected. Looks like it could do that, albeit under these lashing rains that are coming down. Let's get the thoughts of the manager. He is with Joe Curry.
On paper, this is a friendly, but I'm not sure if any game between England and Germany can really be classed as a friendly. How much is riding on this for the players and for you personally?
Well, I think there's obviously big challenges for us as a team to put in a performance. I think we've not hit the heights that we have this season so far, and today is one of those days where you have to go out there and you have to perform, you have to deliver, and it's going to be a great learning experience for us all. I'm excited because I've got utter trust in these players, and I see it in their eyes every single day in training this week, and I've seen it today just before we left the hotel in the final message that we've got to go out there and we've got to deliver. It's not about enjoying the occasion. It's not about the statement it's going to make for women's football, because that's for other people to enjoy. It's about us to go out there and put on a performance and win the game.
Thanks, Phil.
Thank you.
A win would certainly help lift the spirits, because so much hope, so much optimism during that World Cup for this team. But friendlies are tough, and friendlies against Germany are notoriously tough. So let's have a little look closer at that lineup. Mary Earp's chosen in goal, Rachel. That seems to be the kind of one position I'd say that looks the most unfamiliar in terms of personnel.
Well, that position certainly still up for grabs with Karen Bardsley. You know, your expected number one for major tournaments, out injured and still a few months off being back. Then I guess it's who's been training the hardest or the best, looking the most ready, not just for this match against the top world-class opposition, but on this occasion as well, you know, with 70,000-80,000 fans who can hold their calm. And Mary Earps, I think, has conducted herself excellently for Manchester United all season.
Well, in front of her, an unfamiliar defensive pair in terms of Leah Williamson and Steph Horton. Obviously, Leah was very much part of that World Cup squad, but this is a huge opportunity for her. And Mary's going to hope that they're able to gel very quickly, as are the fans, because Pop of Germany is certainly going to test them.
Yeah, she's one of the best strikers in the world. 52 goals for her national team. Her hold-up play is brilliant. Her runs off the shoulder, gets in behind, and she's also a threat in the air. So England, you know, in the last couple of games haven't been good from crosses, letting in sloppy goals from crosses and not picking up runners. And Pop is certainly one of those players that can put the ball in the back of the net unopposed.
Yeah, all those set plays around the box as well have been a problem for England, just, you know, even going back a year, haven't they? And the noise starts, the roar starts as the Lionesses come out to a great fanfare and, of course, inevitably fireworks and pyrotechnics, Rachel. But we've got a chance to talk about up front as well, because this team has missed Ellen White, you know, the star, arguably one of the breakout stars in many ways in terms of the public's consciousness during the World Cup. She became a household name, and they've missed her.
Oh, absolutely. And it's not just about how efficient she was with the goal scoring. I think she had 7 chances and 6 goals in the World Cup, which is ridiculous. She leads the line for England. She's that lone striker role. She can drop in as well, but her work rate, pushing.
Okay, well, let's hope the occasion lives up to the fanfare, and join our commentary team, Manchester United manager Casey Stoney and Jonathan Pearce. A very good evening to you.
Yes, a very good evening, everybody. England against Germany, it's always special, and with what could be the record crowd and historic day, the Lionesses really need to use the occasion to return their best form of World Cup 2019, when Ellen White won the bronze boot for finishing the 3rd highest scorer in the tournament, and she gets that boot today. Baroness Sue Campbell is there with her, the FA Director of Women's Football, and the FA CEO Mark Billingham is there as well, and some very proud members of the family as well, Casey.
Yeah, absolutely. And listen, they follow her absolutely everywhere. Every World Cup, every European Championship, every friendly, they're there. So she'll want to thank them for this, because they've given her the platform to be able to be successful.
Well, they need an ultra-competitive game like this to bring out their finest football, says Phil Neville. He today picks what he calls his strongest side. Even if Tony Duggan and Fran Kirby had been fit, they would have struggled to get into the starting lineup. It's a real boost for England that Ellen White is fit again. It'll be the biggest game England play before some of the team heads off to the Olympics next summer. It'll be a litmus test for the players, something of a crossroads occasion as well, because if they are to stake a claim to play here regularly and also keep the Lionesses bubble floating high, they'll have to do well on occasions like this. Here's the German anthem. Pride on the faces of the England players. Let's look at the side with the 4 changes from October's win in Portugal. Mary Earps deserves a place in goal on a Manchester United form. 5 clean sheets in 7 this season for Casey's team. Lucy Bronze reverts to her strongest right-back position. Otherwise, the back 4 is unchanged. Jill Scott and Jordan Nobbs return to midfield. Jill on her own now is the second highest cap player on 145. And Ellen White, back after injury, ruled her out of the season's opening 4 internationals. 1 goal will take her to 4th in the all-time England scoring list. Germany's side undergone significant transformation since the World Cup quarter-final exit. Only Dursun, Debritz, Magul and Pop were in the starting lineup against Sweden. Marajan, one of the best in the world, came on having broken her toe just weeks before. Froms deputising for the injured Schultz has kept 4 clean sheets in a row in European qualifying. 19-year-old Kleinhan is making her debut. 17-year-old Oberdorf is exceptional at centre-half. And Clara Ball at 18 is the joint second highest scorer in European qualifying. Well, football remembers, Wembley remembers. A lot of the crowd here are very young today, but they will take part in the stands in this commemorative weekend as it starts with football remembering. There's the Corporal Bugler Dave Nevetz of the Royal Marines Portsmouth, and to lay the reef, RAF squadron leader Joan Ochoede, the Sergeant of the Army Beth Bray, and the Navy nurse Rosie McDonnell. Always poignant, and here with the rain tumbling down, a sombre moment before the football gets underway. Dave Nevetz got here a wee bit late. He was stuck in traffic, but he wasn't going to miss this one.
The national teams of England and Germany are both wearing black armbands to join
the wreaths. Clark, the chairman of the FA, is down there as well. The president of the German Football Federation, Fritz Keller, is on the touchline too.
Wreaths will now be laid by British service personnel standing shoulder to shoulder. Squadron leader, Joan Ochu Otho from the Royal Air Force, Sergeant Beth Bray from the British Army, and leading naval nurse.
Football fans of all ages, remembering those who've lost their lives in conflict around the world.
Will now play the last post.
And the players, shoulder to shoulder, stand in tribute. immaculate. Not a whisper, not a whistle, immaculate. Well, we've gone through the pre-match formalities, Casey. England against Germany, we were talking about in the build-up, but down there at pitch level, it's always fearsome, isn't it, on the football field, whoever's playing. And this is a night where England will have to make it fierce, because it's a very important game for them to do well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a huge performance needed tonight. And listen, this is not an easy task. They've won 1 out of 25 of these fixtures.
What a wonderful player she is, Jennifer Marizan.
What a talent, you know, technical ability, vision, awareness, ability on the ball. You know, it's definitely someone I think England are going to have to stop tonight.
Germany in the maroon, the purple will get us off and underway, kicking from left to right in this first half. They've got a goal threat in Pop, in Marizan, in young Buell on the left-hand side, in Starker, who's starting off on the right-hand side. England against Germany in front of what we thought was going to be an 82,000 crowd. There are empty seats, I can report. The rain has kept a fair few fair weather supporters away, but looking around, I would say we have over 75,000, which would be a record for a home England's Women International, beating the 45,600 odd that saw Germany come here in November 2014 and win here 3-0. By this stage in that game, by the way, Jordan Nobbs had already hit the woodwork.
Yeah, England started brightly in that game. They're going to need to start brightly in this one.
Lucy Bronze kept it in, playing right full-back. And here's Starker. He's actually born in Namibia and fouled. He didn't have a great World Cup, beaten in the quarter-finals, but played marvellously well since then this season in European Championship qualifying. 10-0 at home to Montenegro, 8-0 at Ukraine, 8-0 at home to Ukraine, 5-0 in Greece. Best record of any of the qualifying nations thus far. Paul Neville's team, of course, doesn't need to qualify. But every game from now on, heading towards the European Championships on these shores in 2021 will be vital for players to book a place in the side.
It's going to be interesting tonight to see how fit Ellen White is. Obviously has a long-term injury, only just coming back. So, you know, will she be sharp for this stage? We'll have to wait and see.
The game plan was to get Jill Scott watching Jennifer Marizan wherever she goes. Marizan has already floated away off her now. It's brought out of defence by Sarah Dawson. She was one of the players who played against Sweden in Cologne, but only originally from Iran. The referee, experience from the World Cup, Stéphanie Frappard, says get back a couple of metres or so. Henrik will take the throw in, starting at right back with Kleinhorn on the other side, at left back, taking 1 or 2 by surprise. Here's Oberdorf, who loves to move forward. She's a midfield player, really playing in a deeper role, and Pop here behind. Oh, cracked it off the top of the woodwork.
Centre-back driving out there caused England all sorts of problems with the overload in midfield, but let her travel too far. Got to get around that, got to press that. Yes, they've kept him outside, but no one's close enough to affect the shot.
What a talent she is, Lena Oberdorf. She's 19, she won the under-17 European title. Has to be saved because it's a corner kick. Marizan will take it. We'll need to settle here very, very quickly. Marizan back in, it's a danger, really awkward ball. Jill Scott did so well back in there for England. It's all Germany in the opening exchanges. Marizan awaits on the right-hand side. Switch to the far side of the penalty area. Buell will give chase. Showing that Kleinhorn, Frankfurt player, has come through the all-concrete junior ranks, European under-17 champion. They do so well in the age groups, always have done. Germany and England are now doing much better in those tournaments. The best of passes out in the defensive position by Kira Walsh. Manchester City team beat your side recently. Sent off, didn't she?
She did. We frustrated her, and obviously she ended up with a red card. I think in some games it's given, in some games it's not, to be fair. But she's a fantastic talent. You know, you need to get her on the ball to get the team ticking.
Hendrick with the throw. Germany won here 3-0 when they last came in that November game. In 17 and 16 in the She Believes Cup, Germany won 1-0 in 17 and 2-1 the previous year. And scored an own goal, by the way, in 2 of the last 3 meetings. Terrific 2-2 draw in New Jersey in Harrison it was in 2018 in the She Believes Cup. We might got a couple. That's Greenwood. Both of the October fixtures, 44 caps now for her country, now playing with Lyon, of course, top in France, with PSG on goal difference. They meet next week. Steph Warnton to Mary Earps.
Be good if England could just stay on the ball for a little while, settle those nerves. This would be a big stage for some of these players out here. Might not have played in front of these crowds, so stay on the ball, keep possession, and kill Germany's momentum.
Given away poorly. Lady McGill, one of the veterans in the German side. She's only 25. She's been on the side now for 4 years, 41 internationals. She's got a couple in the World Cup finals. A forward-running role in 1 or 2 of the games.
She's a very, very good player. Like you say, she can play in midfield. When she played in the World Cup, she sat in front of the back four and it just kept things ticking when she came on. She had a little taste of world football then, and she just seems to be getting better and better with every game.
She's on the ball. She's got a couple of goals as well coming out of defence this season in the European Championship qualifiers against Ukraine and Greece.
Interesting, they seem to be trying to overload the wide areas, Germany, pushing the full-back high, getting the winger slightly infield.
You've done a tremendous job with her this season, Mary Earps at Manchester United. She looks much fitter than she did 6 months ago.
Do you know what? It's credit to her and my goalkeeper coach. She works hard, she's very diligent. You know, she's got a great strength program, and you know, she's come out the other side of that strength program at the moment, and she's really progressing. And like you say, 5 clean sheets. 5 wins, and she's made some big saves in them games.
She needed to work hard on it. England left her in no doubt what would happen if she didn't. She wouldn't be part of the squad, really.
Yeah. And Phil's very adamant that if you're not fit enough in this team and you don't, you know, get yourself in the right shape and you don't look after yourself, he's not going to pick you.
Yeah, they really need to back him up now and do whatever they can to improve the fitness levels of the England side. Otherwise they will not be competing with the USA when it comes to semi-finals or finals.
Yeah, we talk about fine margins in the game, and fitness levels is one of those. And if you look at the American team, they just overran everybody physically and were more powerful, and obviously could sustain 7 games in a World Cup.
With an English fitness coach there, actually, in Glasgow. Now here come Germany with Sarah Debritz. It's Sandra Starker, Marijan Starker, just watched there by Bethany. It's Hendrick, Marijan, another World Cup ruined for her by injury. Hendrick with the cross in. Oh, it's in the back of the net, Germany lead, and it's Pop who scores. England allowed the cross to come in with 8 minutes gone in the game, and you cannot allow Alexandra Pop any sort of space. That's 53 international goals now for Germany.
Listen, you can't allow her that space in the box, but England continually allow crossing opportunities into the box. If you just mentioned they're overloading the wide areas, you've got to get out, you've got to affect it, you've got to stop crosses, especially when Pop's playing and you know her strength is in the air.
Well, we've been talking about Mary Earps and praising her. Could your goalkeeper have done a little bit better there?
Looking back at it, it's not in the top corner. She seems to dive backwards, gets a hand to it and not a strong enough one.
But Pop is and always has been a class act in the air for Germany. For 9 years she's been around the squad, now captaining the side, took over from Marizan. Marizan stepped down as captain this February, I think it was. Mons keeps it in, and simply have not got going in the game. By Oberdorf.
Problem is England are winning it and they're trying to go forward too quickly, and Ellen White's looking like an isolated figure up there at the moment. They've got to build, they've got to get more numbers up the pitch to be able to support the attack.
It was a firm, you have to say, it was a very firm header.
It is a firm header, and do you know what? It's not from far, so it's come at her quickly. So in terms of reaction time, she hasn't had an awful lot of time to react to that.
His only win against Germany was in the 2015 third place playoff in Edmonton. And then after extra time, Farrah Williams got the goal for the penalty spot. It's gone in the first half, and here's Hendrick for Germany. One of the age group title winners in the 19s in 2011. Here's Frommer. Good season she's had, but she took a chance there. Ellen White pressing hard. Freiburg keeper comes into this international for her country on the back of an 8-0 home defeat at the weekend of Wolfsburg. Runs careering down the right-hand side. Best woman footballer in Europe, 2018-19, and she's slammed into young Sophie Kleinhorn there. 19-year-old couldn't get out of the way. Set the record crowd for an England home game. It would have to be 45,620. The all-time record here for any women's international would have to be 80,204. USA beat Japan in the 2012 Olympic final here with that number in the crowd. Germany on the attack again. Hendrick using the width of the pitch well, Germany. All over England at the moment. And a flew over from Stark, who scored on a debut against Greece last month.
Definitely seems to be part of the Germany game plan at the moment, is get the ball wide, get crosses into the box. If you look at the recent games, the last 6 games, and the goals that England have conceded an awful lot from crossing opportunities.
Is that because the fullbacks love to get forward?
Yeah, I think so, and also they don't get out and press the ball. You know, stay central and defend the frame of the goal, but you've got to get out and stop the cross in the first place.
Opportunity here for a long-range effort from Debritz, easily dealt with this time. Once again, slow to close though, and she could get the shot off. Greenwood into lead, tightly marked by Hendrick. What a player she was in her day. Martina Voss-Tecklenburg. She scored in Germany's 3-0 World Cup quarter-final win against England in Sweden in '95. The attendance for internationals at that stage, though, 2,317 that day.
I know, it's incredible. And she went. I know, and she went on and won 4 European Championships in a row. So she knows how to win.
13 appearances in World Cup finals. 1 titles as a player. And was managing Switzerland until she took the German job in February. 6 years in charge of the Swiss. Pop. Scott to Steph Houghton. Was part of the England side that, or the GB side I should say, that beat Brazil here in the Olympics. She scored. Walsh.
If England don't tidy up a little bit, this is going to be a really long afternoon. You know, they're not keeping the ball, they're not tidy, turning over possession all the time, allowing Germany to win the ball back and keep control of the game.
It's a betwixt and between time for England after the highs of the World Cup. No competitive qualifiers to play. They need to mentally sort themselves out and settle down, I think.
Yeah, they've got to reset. World Cup's gone now. It's gone. You're now preparing for trying to win a place in the Olympic squad. You're preparing for a Euros. You know, it's gone. You've got to forget it. You didn't win anything. You've got to move forward, and you've got to think about how you can be better.
Marajan. Turned by Debritz. A very good player. She's become, Debritz, in a deeper role than when she first started, up and down left-hand side. I seem to remember her playing. At the Euros in 17. Here's Fromsen. There's a goalkeeper who likes to leave a penalty area. Jill Scott just lifted her foot. Just caught Lena McGill.
It's interesting to see McGool a little bit deeper in this game as well, because she's a great attacking threat. She seems to be allowing Debritz the freedom to get forward at times. She'll sit, and they seem to do that job between them. And it's interesting because I think she's very effective in that attacking third.
Second in the world, Germany in the FIFA rankings. England down to 5th. There's Oberdorf. Pop. Knew that the left fullback was going to be over there. Kleinhahn. Debritz. Moving the ball around comfortably, Germany. Dorsun. She will bring it forward, part of the Wolfsburg team who've won all 9 of their opening league games this season. Hendrik. Here's Marajan dangerously in space to measure across into the middle. Oh, got her away, but goodness me, how come Jennifer Marajan was in so much space there?
Again, another crossing opportunity because they're rotating wide, creating overloads. I think what the England back four have got to do, they've got to shift round. So when the wide player comes in field, the centre half takes them, and it allows the fullback to go and affect the cross.
It's all Germany so far. One defeat and 21 internationals in all competitions. It came against the Swedes. Comes that corner, and stretched for it. Back in the middle by Oberdorf. England cleared their lines. There was a purple-shirted German player there. It's a foul by Beth Mead.
I'm not entirely sure the crowd saw it the same way as the referee there.
Yeah. Short by McGill. Gets it back again, the Bayern Munich player. It's a decent ball in, and it's a flying header. Oberdorf up from the back. Decent save, and again too much space for a player who can score goals frequently up from the back. Knew that Germany would be a massive test because they're in such fine form now. That's a risk taken. Leah Williamson, they just got away with it, only just. McGill on the back foot again though, England, because of that risk. Kleinhahn. Debritz. Goal kick.
You might get away with a switch ball across your 18, 40-yard switch in the FAWSL. It's not something I personally like to see at international football because of the level of the quality. You can get punished from that.
Even though they got away with it, they were then pushed back into their own third.
Having to defend the goal far too much.
Every loose ball is going to a German player, Marajan. She's supremely gifted, she's strong. Back from real adversity in her career, with injuries at times. She's again here a couple of times in Germany. It's a lovely lay-off here to McGill, who's come to the right-hand side, bounces away off Williamson, but the movement of McGill and Debritz and Marajan bewitching England at the moment, and Phil Neville knew that 3-on-3 midfield area was going to be absolutely key.
And Germany are on top at the moment. It's causing England all sorts of problems.
Marjan makes a run to the near post. Lucy Braun's got there. It's loose, stamped out by Jill Scott. She blocks another one, that time from Pop.
Desperate defending from England at times. They just haven't got going since the first whistle.
Really, really unhappy. He's shouting out there to Steph Horton, his captain. He's under no pressure at the moment, despite what you might read elsewhere in the media from the FA. He's contracted until the end of the European Championship finals. Will take Team GB in Japan.
I think he should be unhappy. They haven't got going, they haven't started, they've been untidy, they haven't locked on in the box and marked, they haven't stopped crosses. So, you know, half-time can't come quick enough, potentially, to change a few things and get his messages into the team. We've only played 19 minutes.
Sue Smith's often told me that England in the past, when they went out to play Germany, before a ball was kicked, believed they were a beaten team. How much is this is mental again today? That's another effort to tug over the bar. Do you ever feel that situation?
Yeah, I think I would have to agree. In the past, obviously, you mentioned earlier, we got easily beaten in the final in 2009, and probably never really believed we could go out there and win. I was hoping that the win in 2015 would shift that mindset and shift that mentality.
Delighted to have you up here with me in the box. Sue's on a journey. Her mum brought her a surprise birthday trip. Sue's birthday next week. Am I allowed to say how old she is?
You don't tell her.
How far are we from the 40th minute? Oh, 20 minutes to go. So to throw to Germany, she will not thank me. Forward by Oberdorf. The last time you and I sat this close, I think, you were absolutely slaughtering Graham Lasso and myself in the Pointless studio.
We did get to the final and you didn't. We'll say no more about that.
What I remember is Lasso saying to me, we can't go out in the first round, we can't be the first team out. And we duly were. Taxi for Pearson Lasso. Out we went. Oberdorf gets it away. Scott leaves it run on to Ellen White. Well, she anticipated that she might get a foul.
I thought that was from behind, to be honest, that tackle. I would have liked to have seen the referee give that.
Yeah, I think that was a foul. Typically brave from Ellen White, who was, I don't know if you noticed it, everybody, when the national anthem was playing, she was really giving it some, as she always does. Nikita Parris challenging back there, wins a foul for England. That's the first time we've mentioned Nikita Parris.
She's not been in the game. Like I say, I don't think England have kept the ball long enough to get her in the game. They've turned it over too many times.
So look, when England come forward, Marjan doesn't have to do any defensive work. Here's Parris, this is a good run, she's got round the back, that's better for England. That's the most promising sign from the home side so far.
She's come short, drawn the full back in and then spun the space, and it's a great little knock into the channel. You know, Nikita Parris is quick and powerful, little touch past the defender.
England now know that she can show a clean pair of heels to Sophie Kleinhan in the pouring rain at Wembley. It's a only wintry night, I might say. It's England's first corner and they're all lined up beyond the far post in a cluster. Haven't seen this one before from them. And Beth Mead has then burst out of the penalty area to the right-hand side, not seen, and whatever momentum they gained, they've lost. Or have they? Is this a ploy? Jill Scott's now gone to the near post area. Horton comes in from the back stick. The keeper punches it away. And that's given away. And here come Germany now. It was given away cheaply by Beth Mead, and Starker was nearly away. And not getting to challenges. Mead couldn't get close to Marjan. Here come Germany again. And this time it's well dealt with by Mary Earps to deny Clara Bull.
You can't let that player cut in the frame of the goal there. You've got to keep her outside. But from the corner, I think that's an incident to not thinking clearly under pressure, because I think they've obviously planned it. They've got a set play that they want to do, and they haven't taken it. You know, Beth Mead was in loads of space when she pulls out there, and they just won't give her the ball.
Well, there's another exceptional young talent. 6 goals in the 4 European qualifiers they've played so far. Only Carolina Graham Hansen, Norway, scored more. There's Greenwood. Given away by Mead. So untidy in possession, England. Pop. Untidy too. How are you finding, as a manager as you are now, I've often talked to players who are very, very good players in the men's game, brilliant players in the men's game, became managers and found it difficult working with players, with all due respect, who weren't up to their own ability. And you were such a terrific defender in your time leading England. How have you found that?
I've been very lucky. I've got excellent players.
More on that in a moment, because England looks to find Alan Whiteley whisks on through from Jordan Nobb's pass.
And do you know what, JP? I always say I think I was an average player that worked really hard to get what I got.
I think you've been a bit unkind to yourself there. How many caps have you in?
130.
There you are.
But do you know what? It's my job to make them better. So if they aren't up to it, it's my responsibility to get them there.
25 played at Wembley Stadium. England 0, Germany 1. To Hendrick. Good chase back by Beth Mead. She was fouled in the end. Tenacity there from the Arsenal player, typical tenacity. Subbing goals for England. And a couple this season. A goal later on that won it at Portugal. Paul could be mistaken, is Nikita Paris. Featured in both of the October internationals. And looking at Scott, gets the return, she's offside.
If England are going to get themselves back in the game, I think Nikita Paris is going to be key to it in terms of, she's quicker than that fullback, they can target her. But England have got to get more bodies forward. Germany are leaving 1 up and 1 in the half space, and England have got 5 back defending against it.
Kick them for offside. Without Magul. They get a massive game in the Premier League tomorrow. Liverpool against Manchester City. It's live on 5 Live, 4:30. And the FA Cup first round action tonight, 10:15 on the iPlayer. Walsh. Just signs here. I think Casey that England is settling a little bit. They were absolutely out of the game for the opening 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's better from England. Stay on the ball, be patient. If Germany want to sit in and defend, keep moving them, keep moving the ball, stay on it, be patient, don't force it.
Which is exactly what Stephen Orton just did then. There's Jill Scott, that's better, although rather curious, that's better for England. Right here to be England's best fellow game so far on the outside of the full-back, in comes across, and it took a defensive clearance from Sarah Dawson to stop England there. Much, much better.
Yeah, much better. And I think it's wide areas where England are going to have to cause some problems.
England haven't defended the wide areas very well. Both German fullbacks, though strong coming forward, look suspect defensively. And again, England have that cluster beyond the far post, leaving Germany with 3, 6, 7, 8 in the centre of their penalty area. 9 if you include Marishan. Now, will this time it work? There's what, 5, 6 England white shirts there for Beth Mead's corner. Again, 3 of them trot towards the near post. They back out towards Beth Mead. It's very, very high.
I think Alex Greenwood could have turned on that in the box. She had no one on her. Could she turn? Could she get a shot away herself?
A very good cross of the ball, Beth Mead. She can whip in a low cross with devastating accuracy. Score from wide positions as well when she curls them in on that occasion. England's run before the victory in Portugal. 4 defeats in 5 without a victory, their worst run since June to July 2013. And they kept 1 clean sheet now in 7 matches. It's by Mary Earps. Beth Mead played it on, she was caught very, very badly there. It's up towards Nikita Parris, and the referee must come back and revisit. It wasn't a very good challenge by Sarah Dorsoon, it really wasn't. Germany are being urged to get the ball out of play. She's got to come back here, surely, the French referee.
I can't understand that the lineswoman is 10 yards away. How has she not seen it? The referee's not seen it. It was a poor challenge.
I don't think it was malicious. I think I think the conditions might have played a part in it. It's definitely a yellow card.
I think it's just mistimed.
Really poor challenge. Absolutely flattened Beth Mead. It's so important to England. Look at this. That's a sending off.
That's high, it's late, and it's dangerous.
That's a shocker.
For me, that's a red card. That should be a red card, not a yellow. It's a terrible tackle.
Well, the referee's going back across to have another word with Dorsoon. No VAR.
Unfortunately, in the women's game, you have to do an awful lot to get a red card.
Well, had she had a straight leg braced on the turf, she may well be being stretched off at this moment in time.
Yeah, she could have been in serious trouble.
I wouldn't be surprised at all, knowing the German FA and knowing their current coach, they might well substitute Sarah Dorsoon at half-time. She's now, it was a poor ball out to her, and now Frams. Never on the losing side, the young German goalkeeper. Dawson's only lost 3 of the 32 she's played. There's Ellen White pressurising Dorsoon. Doubling up with her was Hendrick. England pressing hard now. Dorsoon. Marijan. First touch came in an awkward height. Sublimely she flicked it round the corner.
She's just class, isn't she? You know, the little touches, the ability to take the ball down in any area and under any circumstances.
She really came into the conscious of football people back in the under-17 European Championships of 2018. She won it. She was the top scorer, best player. And she's gone on and done things, won competitions, under-20 World Cup, Euro under-20, and so on. The European Championships at Senior level in 2013. But in the World Cup of 2015, she had a knee injury. Badly impeded her there, and the broken toe this summer as well. It's a poor ball. England have it back again. That wasn't a very good pass at all. And England have an opportunity to break it as a result from it. Once or twice young Clara Buell has given the ball away, and she's come into a more central position. She's barrelling away out there towards the left to get back and stop Lucy Bronze getting forward. She looks for Nikita Parris. It's a German throw. Fiercely competitive, the Lyon player. There was always the question mark, would she get games at Lyon? Well, in all competitions, including the Summer International Club Championship up in the States, she's played 14 games. She's getting her football. So too in the same setup as Alex Greenwood and of course Lucy Bronze. And then he misses a game for Club All Country. Now it's gone quiet. A shame it poured with rain. I think that's probably stopped a lot walking up to Wembley today. But It's still quite a special moment walking up Wembley Way with all those people around for a women's international. Walsh much better now from England. The way they're controlling their movement, their pace, their control of the ball, protecting it better. Well, there you are.
Yeah, it's taken them half an hour, isn't it, to settle. It's a big occasion. There's probably some nerves. It's going to be a very quick surface as well. They'll have to adapt to that. But they seem to be doing a little bit better in possession, being a bit more patient. Just need to stop forcing it.
Difficult viewing for Phil Neville there on the touchline. It was difficult, I would think, when he sat on the bench when England lost to penalties here against Germany at Wembley Euro '96. Just run that back again, tried to slip it through to me. Good chance for England. Penalty kick. Out came From's, committed herself. All the work done there by Ellen White. Mead saw the opportunity. Now what's the referee going to do here? Double jeopardy, only a yellow card.
And that's what Ellen White gives you. She gives you absolute graft. She gets her body back in front of the defender, wins the ball. Plays a ball in behind. Beth Mead just nicks it away from the keeper. For me, it's a clear penalty.
Penalty to England. Nikita Barris will take it. Definite penalty. Missed 2 in the World Cup finals. This to draw England level. 10 minutes left in the first half. Big moment. And again Nikita Barris is denied from the penalty spot. Straight down the middle, Frome saves. Big let-off for Germany. England have got to get over this problem from penalty kicks.
It's not a convincing penalty at all, is it? It's at the right height for the keeper. It's almost central. You need someone who's, you know, if she's missed the last 2, maybe you take her out of the pressure point and you put someone who's nice and calm and relaxed and composed, who can just roll it in the corner.
Wasted opportunity for England. They have a corner. She missed 2 in the summer. Steph Orton missed the one against the USA. There's White. Straight at the goalkeeper. Ellen White's attitude is, England is struggling here, we've not got in the game. I'll tell you what, I'm not having it. I'm not having it. I'm going to get us back into the game.
Yeah, and that's what she does. She works so hard, and she'll take the game by the scruff of the neck, and she'll work, and she'll press, and she'll hassle the defenders and make them uncomfortable.
Walsh, England are now winning the 50-50s. Good challenge that by Horton on pot. Now Bronx. Germany doubling up, and Marizan was across there in case she gets it now. Poor pass by Walsh. And, well, I cannot believe a player of Alexander Pop's ability and experience was going for goal there.
No, I think she's taking the mick there, shooting from there, to be honest. I know Mary's off the line, but she's been better off keeping it and building the play.
105 internationals for Alexander Pop. She's a zookeeper. Trained to be a zookeeper. Did you know that?
I didn't. That's.
Did you want to know that?
Every day's a school day.
She went to the Schalke academy, very elite academy that is. She was the only girl there, and she shone. Here's Paris. Good take. Oberdorf's touch was a bit heavy, and Germany are on the back foot. How this game has changed.
Yeah, momentum has swung, hasn't it, in England's favour? And the more they keep getting the ball to Nikita Paris, the more she can face up the fullback and have a go at her, the more England will grow in this game.
She won't need telling. She knows what an opportunity it was to add to her 14 England goals. Orton's in there. On that back stick again with Ellen White and Jill Scott. Timed her run towards the near post. Beaten in the air by Oberdorf. I think she's one of the best defenders at that age I've ever seen in the time that I've been covering the women's game. 7 or 8 years. Lena Oberdorf.
I think she's an excellent ball-playing centre-back. The fact she can carry the ball out from defence gives Germany another weapon in terms of overloading that midfield area. She seems to read the game very well, because when I watched her in the World Cup, my question was her mobility. Can she get around the pitch quick enough? But she hasn't seemed to struggle with that tonight so far.
White did well. Jordan Nobbs flicked it on. Played in by Mead. Paris! Touch was heavy. Came Froms to make the save.
And that's Ellen White being Ellen White.
Yeah, she tried to stop the goalkeeper playing out. Touch was just too heavy when it comes back into her heel. There you are. They're finding a way through.
They are, and it's the quick play in that final third that's, you know, opening Germany up.
1-0 the German lead as we enter the last 5 minutes of the half. And back under pressure from Dorsu.
I think what they've done is got higher up and applied pressure higher up as well, which is really unsettling Germany's rhythm. So they can't build, they can't get them overloads in wide areas because England are pressing higher up now, and it's a good strategy to stop Germany playing.
Horton. Bronze. Really big opportunity for her in this game. Button down the place regularly with Steph Horton. Nobbs, she's beginning to move between the lines. Gets it back here from Greenwood. Plays into Beth Mead. She was off balance. Marijan. He wastes a pass, Nina McGill.
Do you know what I really appreciate about Marijan is the fact that she's a technical player. She's very gifted, but she puts a shift in for her team. She covers ground. She does a real good job when the team haven't got the ball to shift across and fill spaces and do her job defensively.
Here's Hendrick. To bring the ball a long way forward here, the right back. Starker. Switch away. Rabu. Stopped by Lucy Bronze. Jordan Nobbs wouldn't get away. German players do look stronger, do look sharper to the ball. Fitter. Here's Hendrick. He's played it right back before for Germany, played in the World Cup qualifiers, so against Russia, he seemed to remember. By Scott, on the corner by Paris. Can she get to loose ball? Jill Scott can, and Ellen White is being played onside by Dawson, and she's gone beyond here. Dawson will go across and cover. She's already in the yellow, can't risk a challenge. And support arrived very, very late.
England couldn't get up the pitch quick enough to support her there, and she was isolated versus two. And Ellen White will graft, but she's not got electric pace to go by the centre-back there.
So difficult to shrug off the ball, Marijan.
She's dictating this game so far.
Powell, the former England coach, the Brighton coach, was on the pitch beforehand talking about the work done by the pioneers in the English women game, a lot of them being recognised here at half-time, and she was saying she was looking forward to seeing Marijan play. And I think if you appreciate good footballers,
you definitely appreciate her. Yeah, absolutely. You know, she's drifting. She's got the ability to drift wide, get on the ball. Seems a bit of a strange tactic at the moment. England on the left-hand side keep leaving that full-back position vacant, and Germany are exploiting it. And England are weak from crosses, so they've got to make sure they shift across, keep their shape, and go and affect that area.
Nice little bit of space here now. Beth Mead wanted it early in the box. Here's Kira Walsh. Scott dropped it too high for Walsh. Jordan Nobbs. Walton. To Paris. Jill Scott. Windsor waits, now back to Walsh. Good cross in, Ellen White, brilliant finish! Flag stays down! Back in the side, Finnegan, and carries on where she left off in the World Cup finals. Scoring goals, England won, Germany won, and that is thoroughly deserved.
Almost been 2 games in this half. You know, Germany were on top for the first 25-30 and England have come back into it, but great ball by Kira Walsh there, fantastic run, and a first-time finish gave the goalkeeper no chance.
There's such a joy written all over her face when she scores goals. What a lovely finish. That's the area she's worked hardest on, that's the area she's improved the most, her finishing ability. Look at this.
It's a great finish, one touch. Gives the goalkeeper, it's a great ball. What a great ball. It's coming back inside all the time. Great run from Ellen White, but I have to question Dawson if she even knows that Ellen White's there.
No VAR. She had a VAR heartache in the World Cup finals a couple of times. Would have scored more than the 6 she had. So the highest English scorer in World Cup finals football. Gary Lineker got his 6. And Harry Kane got his 6 in their tournaments.
I think that might now change Phil Neville's half-time team talk. It might have been very different 10 minutes ago.
Given away there, Paulie. Walsh and Williamson will get it out tidily there. There's Knopps, crushed to the ground. I mentioned Hope Powell a moment ago, who's here today watching on. She has 35 goals for England, and so does Ellen White now. Joint 4th highest scorer for her country. Most English player ever, men's or women's game, to score in 5 World Cup games in a row. What a pass that was.
It's a great ball. What a great ball. I don't know if she was onside or offside. I don't care. It's in the back of the net. It's an England goal. And what an amazing story. It's Hope Powell that give Ellen her debut.
Well, that will change the half-time team talk from Phil Neville. He says he trusts these players, and he has the most trust in her, I can tell you. He rates her very, very highly, and after Popper put Germany ahead on 8 minutes and England looked out of it, they came back, had a penalty, it was saved before Ellen White buried the ball beyond Mel Frums and sends England in at half-time then, all level at Wembley Stadium in the rain. England won, Germany won.
Yeah, that goal at the end of the first half will change, no doubt, the team talk, but also the reflection on that first half. I'm not sure it was quite a half of 2 halves, but England certainly got back into it towards the end. Kelly Smith alongside me with Rachel Brown-Finnis, and we've relocated to a rather drier studio. The rain was heavy, the conditions weren't great, but that doesn't explain necessarily the kind of start, Kelly, that we saw from England.
It was poor for the first 16 minutes or so. I'm always a big fan of doing the basics well, finding your teammates, whether it's a 5 or 10 yard pass, and England weren't doing that, especially from the back. Steph Wharton a couple of times played the ball in, fizzed it in, not to her teammates, and it made Germany dictate and control the tempo of the game. It wasn't until the penalty when England started to come back on top and finish the half really, really strong.
And they invited Germany in, didn't they?
Yeah, I mean, they started deep as a team. You know, each unit, the defensive unit, midfield and forward unit, were deep. And then as they kept giving the ball away, as Kelly was saying, then they were retreated even further and further. And it was only really when we switched press position, we came back up here and we looked down, and England had physically stepped up a good 10, 15, even 20 yards in their units, and it put Germany on the back foot.
And let's have a little look then at where it all started to unravel, because, you know, just minutes into the game, the chance for Popper, and then just a few minutes later, they'd had the warning and came the goal.
Yeah, I mean, they were messing around with it, simple as that, at the back. But Alex Greenwood, as we said, sloppy in possession all across the back line and the midfield. But we just don't get pressure on the ball. Look, nobody is going down the line at Pop, number 9 there. Nobody puts pressure. Alex Greenwood doesn't step out to win the ball. And we've seen this over the last 5 or 6 games. England are just letting teams play the ball in from wide possession. Where's the urgency there? Where is the energy to get out and actually defend? It's all great having fullbacks who can bomb on and create chances.
It's all too easy, isn't it? Like, from the cross in, no one's marking Pop. You should be touch tight in the box, and she's not. And it's a fantastic header, don't get me wrong. But like you say, Brownie, like, there's not pressure. They should be like getting tight, not letting that cross in. And I watched the Germany v Ukraine in their European qualifier, and 6 of their 8 goals come from crosses. So England should have worked that out, that they're good on the flanks and they're good at crossing the ball. And you've got one of the best headers in the game in Pop, putting that ball in the back of the net. Got to get closer.
3 players in close proximity, but nobody there marking her. And as you say, Germany will have seen England in these games, these friendly games, and seen how exposed they've been, you know, and absolutely played it right, haven't they? They've been conceding goals like this for the last couple of months.
Germany have certainly done their homework, haven't they?
Yeah, I mean,
time and time again.
They'll have been rubbing their hands, though, with Alexander Popp as your number 9, who's one of the best headers in the world, who's been scoring goals for fun a whole career from that exact position. To give away and to make it so easy must have been so frustrating, because I was sat behind Phil Neville and I was seething, let alone how he was feeling.
Sarah Dusan may be a lucky player to still be involved in this game. Let's have a little look at her challenge on Beth Mead. She got a yellow for this, Kelly. I think if you were Beth Mead, you'd feel a little bit aggrieved, wouldn't you, that she's still there?
It was a bit nasty. You see there, Beth has her full eyes on the ball, and Dawson just comes in very, very late. You know, it's a touch there, and she's raped her down the side of a shin pad. It's a nasty one, and very, very lucky to still be on the pitch.
Yeah, I mean, that's a red card. She's endangering the welfare of the player. It's a simple red card.
No VAR, of course, here for the referee to go and check. Maybe if there had been, that she wouldn't be on the pitch and they'd be down to 10 players, Germany. The penalty incident, let's have a little look at that. Clear cut, no problem for you that was awarded. Absolutely all the work done by Ellen White to achieve this as well.
Yeah, we said what her strengths bring. It's hard work, it's taking that chance when they can, but this opportunity is Beth Mead, and her electric pace gets that tiny little touch past her from in the Germany goal, and it's just the pace of Beth Mead that beats her. She goes down, commits herself, but how many times have we seen this?
Well, this is 3 times in a row now for Nikita Paris. There is clearly a problem with penalties within this squad. We talked about it a lot during the World Cup. Yeah. Players not wanting to step up and take penalties.
You have to. You know, I'm still questioning why Ellen White doesn't step up. She's in the form of her life in the World Cup. We hear she doesn't like to take penalties, but scoring goals is your job. Ellen, you have to come up and practice your penalties and take them. I certainly did. If you're a forward, you want to score goals, you want to put the ball in the back of the net. And for me now, Nikita Paris should not take a penalty for England.
Nikita Paris must have, you know, huge strength of character to keep stepping up, and she's missed them in very crucial moments during the World Cup, but obviously she's come into this thinking, you know, she can rectify that. In terms of the goalkeeping, yeah, great to get your foot to it, but it wasn't a great penalty.
You shoot it from 12 yards against past one person. The goalie should never stand a chance. You know, at elite level, which we are, top international players, it's about Nikita Paris has shown great strength of character for Phil Neville to have the belief in it and for her to still back herself. But what does that say about Ellen White? She does have the strength of character because she's come back from injuries. She's got to get over that and make this another forte, because she's one of the top strikers in the world. But you don't see top strikers shooting away from penalties.
I wonder, and it might be a question to Phil, I wonder just how much post-World Cup this has been analysed as well, because the conversations we also had during the World Cup, if it had come to a penalty shootout, where were 5 players going to come from? If Nikita Paris was the one that kept being relied upon, and, you know, we had the conversation with Jordan Nobbs away from, you know, the cameras, and Jordan was saying there aren't many players in the squad who actually want to take penalties.
Well, the ironic thing, for me, that's ridiculous. You know, you're playing for England, you're one of the best players at international level. You have to have the strength and character and composure. You know, you're a full-time professional athlete. You go away and you practice. You spend half an hour, 15 minutes, whatever it is, practicing penalties, building your confidence up. You have to step up for your country and do that.
You can practice to get a goal, isn't it, in the whole of the game. Ellen White does, though, you know, as we know, change games. She's got the ability to unlock defences, and no surprise that it was her who's equalled things up.
Well, I mean, her statistics in the World Cup were absolutely unreal. The number of chances that she converted into goals, and it's the same again tonight. She's had 1 chance, and what a deft touch. I mean, lovely vision from Kira Walsh, who I think has been a bit sloppy earlier on in this game, but completely redeemed herself. To have that vision, I mean, we're looking back at the replay, VAR had been involved. I think she could well have been given offside.
What's great about that is she uses the outside of her right foot. You know, it comes to her at her quite quickly, and she's just so quick thinking. She's alert, she's alive in the box, and there's the famous trademark celebration.
And it's fantastic, isn't it, when you have been injured, you've been out, and you've missed a clutch of matches, to come back and get yourself scoring for England your first time of asking is great, and hopefully she can continue that into the second half, and that momentum will continue. Before we get to that, though, Alex Scott, of course, herself a phenomenal former Lioness, very busy at the moment. I think it's the Jive tonight, and she took a little bit of time away from her rehearsals for Strictly Come Dancing to tell us her football story.
started playing football, I don't think we had much of a following. We'd be lucky if we got, I think, a couple of hundred come and watch us on a Sunday. But then that gradually grew the more success we were having at major tournaments. Playing at Wembley is iconic, whether you're a young boy and that's your dream, or a young girl, because that was my dream when I was playing in a football cage in the East End of London. I pictured playing at Wembley, so for that now to be a regular thing, whether you're playing for England or you're playing in an FA Cup final, just shows how far women's football's come in this country. For me, it's just amazing to think that when I first started, it was only part-time, training 2 times a week if we were lucky, to now seeing women's football, full-time contracts, totally professional, playing at Wembley, and I've managed to be a part of that journey. It does make me so proud. I think football's given me so much in my life. It allowed me to travel the world, my teammates that are friends, and obviously winning trophies and playing in World Cups, but it's also allowed, as the profile's grown, for me to be on a show like Strictly and kind of raise that level even more, that young girls can now see me dancing on Strictly, but they also know that I played football, and it inspires them that they can go out there and do both as well. And that's what we need. The more profile the women's games get, visibility matters, that you've got young girls that have role models that they can look up to and inspire now. So finish enjoying watching the second half, and then straight after the game's finished, you can turn over and please support me on my journey in Strictly. I need ya.
She's desperate to get to Blackpool, and I'm not sure if she ever played there as a gunner. Did you? Did you ever go to Blackpool?
Yeah, we did. We had a game of Blackpool.
I was involved with that one then.
Yeah, too far north for you.
Too cold.
But it is important, isn't it, that there is, she mentioned that the visibility, having a female footballer on Strictly Come Dancing is a real marker of just how far the game has come in terms of that profile.
Definitely, yeah. Alex was a fantastic player for Arsenal and England, and she, obviously going on to do her media career, it's given her these opportunities. It's fantastic to see her doing so well, and she now has that profile and platform to go on and do those wonderful things on the dance floor.
Ever fancied it yourself, Rachel?
Absolutely not. No, I'd rather eat like bugs and all kinds of stuff. If
want to go in the jungle?
Anyone ever wants to go in the jungle?
Might be a bit late for this year's jungle, but I think you've put yourself out there. You've certainly mentioned it. Let's now focus on another landmark weekend. Next weekend is the first ever Women's Football Weekend. There has never been a better time to support your local team.
Right, you lot. Yeah, you lot. What are you doing next weekend?
A momentous day in women's football.
Be a part of Women's Football Weekend, 16th and 17th of November.
Here we go then. Wonderful goal!
There's league games, cup games, and there's massive derbies. Be a part of it.
Oh my goodness! What a goal! You'd have to say, it has been coming.
See you there.
So make a note of the dates, the 16th and 17th of November. So many great matches for you to get down to, and highlights of the weekend's WSL fixtures, of course, on the BBC, on the Women's Football Show next Sunday, BBC 4 at 7 o'clock. Highlights also of the Premier League tonight on Match of the Day with Gary Lineker and the team at 11 on BBC 1. And the NFL show follows straight after at 12:25, also on BBC 1. Wimbledon champion Novak Djokovic is in action in the ATP World Tour Finals tomorrow, BBC 2 at 10:02. And the Lionesses' last match of the year against the Czech Republic, Tuesday, 7 o'clock on BBC 4. But we're looking ahead to a second half here, which, if you'd asked us after about 25 minutes, I think, of the first half, you'd be starting to feel a little bit negative about England's chances at all of, perhaps not conceding 2 or 3 more goals. However, that goal does change the scoreline, but it also changes momentum. And there was certainly, last 10 minutes or so, some kind of intensity and some urgency, which was also lacking in the first 25 minutes or so.
Yeah, it was like a switch had been flicked. It was about 35 minutes, and a couple of minutes after, they were a lot higher up the pitch, and they were pressing across the against the keeper and across the back line, not allowing them to play it out at ease. And I think Beth Mead looked like she was interested after about 35 minutes, and after a couple of minutes of that, we got a penalty. We missed that, but then we got our goal.
Yeah, England certainly need to start this second half the way they ended the first, high pressing. You could see Germany weren't comfortable with that. I think the first 15, 20 minutes or so, England were just weren't as pressing as high and allowed Germany to come onto them. So if they can start better this second half, I expect better things for them.
And how easy is it to rectify, obviously, that defensive frailty that is going on there in the fullback position, and having obviously that space that seems to just constantly being left in the box? Well, and seeing the wings being exposed like that.
It's not something that's going to get fixed instantly, but there has to be honesty first and foremost when you're analysing a match. And I'm not saying there's not, I'm just saying when you're looking at your performance as a defender or as an 11 or a 7, it's your job to get out and press. Whoever's the nearest player, it might be a midfielder, get out and press with urgency. If you're not doing those two things, you're not doing your job for the team. And for far too many games now, beyond the World Cup, it's been the same pattern of errors. And secondly, Phil Neville's other frustration and the team's frustration throughout the World Cup was that they played well in patches, in spells, and we've seen the same again today. I'd like to see them go out second half and do it for the entire 45 minutes.
And that at times was attributed down to fitness, it was attributed down to the players turning off. Kenny, what do you see it as?
I don't see it being a fitness problem because all these players are now, in the FAWSL season.
They started like that.
Yeah, they should be fit.
We can hear from Phil Neville actually, so let's just do that while we've got a bit of time. He's with Joe Curry.
Well, Phil, a slow start to that game, but it looked like England were finding their feet by the end. What have you asked to see from them in the second half?
Well, for 22 minutes, I thought that the occasion was too much. I thought they've had a really big build up to the game, and then after 22 minutes, we started playing like an England team, playing the ball forward, sticking to the plan that we'd said all week, and that's why I'm not happy at all, because we've said all week about a simple game plan, about keep turning them in behind. It's a big pitch, we've got speed up front, and the goal was perfect. We worked one side, we switched each other, and then we played the ball in behind. That's what we need. We should be up in the game, but I've got to say Germany for the first 20 minutes showed why they're such a good team, and I think they'll come at us in the second half, and it's a brilliant game of football.
Thank you, Phil.
Thank you.
Well, the players, their last words for each other, motivational words, hopefully, to really grab hold of this occasion, make the most of it. And a historic victory it would be if they could get another goal and keep Germany out for the next 45 minutes. Jonathan Pearce and Casey Stoney are waiting for you in the commentary box.
Thanks very much, Gabby. One German change. You can just see her sprinting out there to your right of your picture. That is a defender, and Marina Hegering has come on for Germany. Played in the World Cup finals, and she's replaced Lena Oberdorf. Well, that's a disappointment, because Oberdorf is such a wonderful young talent. Hegering went to reach for that ball with Alan White. England all in wide, of course, and kicking from left to right. And your thoughts on that, Casey, that change right at the start of the second half?
Yeah, I find that strange. There must be a reason behind it, whether she's picked up a little niggle in the first half and they're trying to protect her, because I thought she was very good in the first half. I thought she shepherded England well. She drove out with the ball. She used it really well. So I can only assume there's a little niggle of some sort, or, the manager might have had a conversation with the club manager and maybe she's being protected.
Well, also the question we raised whether or not the coach would take off Dorsun at half-time because of that really very, very poor challenge on Beth Meader's been answered. She's still out there, playing on the right side of the centre-back duo. And Sarah Debritz. Right then to Clara Boule to take on Lucy Bronze. Touch was too heavy, it goes out of play. Is the pitch playing heavy, Casey?
I would think so. There's been a lot of rain, and everybody talks about the size of the pitch and it drains your legs. I'm not necessarily sure it's the pitch that drains your legs. I think when you're playing at Wembley, it's the emotion and the occasion that sometimes drains your legs. So it will be heavy because of the water on it, but it's also quick, so it's a great pitch to play on.
Knobs wide then to Greenwood. To pass, tried to find Jordan Nobbs. Great to see her playing back for England after missing the World Cup finals through injury. I'm not saying whether if she'd been there and not working with us at the BBC, England would have beaten the United States of America, but I think they'd have had a better opportunity.
Yeah, Jordan adds a lot to this England team in terms of her energy levels, the fact that she can score goals. She would have, I definitely think those energy levels against the likes of the USA would have been valuable.
A couple of thunderbolt goals, one on a debut against Italy back in 2013, scored against Sweden with another great goal in the under-19 European finals. He ricochets into Jill Scott, ended up by Walsh. And here's Williams, Nikita Paris.
England seem to have started this second half very similar to how they started the first, just turning the ball over again. Technical errors. Again, keep the ball, build the play. I get, obviously Phil Neville at half-time said they need to spin the space. You can only spin the space when you've got a runner in that space. You've got to build the play until you can draw somebody out to spin it in behind.
White stumbled, was pushed by Edwin, and that's going to be a free kick then to England, conceded by the Essen player. She'll play in the weekend game against Frankfurt on Friday, the 9th game for her country. By Jill Scott on Kleinhead, who's done very well in keeping Nikita Paris quiet, the 19-year-old debutante in the German side. The 19 captain she was. And towards the header on by Pop. Marishan back to her. Glanced at Greenwood. Williamson clears it away. If she does well in this game and away in the week as well, she starts in the week, I think she will. A very good chance of cementing this partnership with Steph Horton. Phil Neville been fairly bullish. He thinks this is his best team at the moment. He could pick. Duggan's injured, of course, Tony Duggan.
Yeah, I think he's obviously got options that he can bring on from the bench as well. But yeah, I think that centre-back partnership, if they can build on it, because it's changed so much, it would really help. Because I think that builds the foundations of your team. The centre-backs and your defensive midfielder probably shouldn't change, because they need to build relationships, and obviously Leah Williams is still young. If he can give her lots of experience now, going into that Euro, she'll be a lot more experienced international by then.
The person he was talking to there, by the way, Phil Neville, is Bev Priestman, who's very much his number 2. She's back with the FA. She had 5.5 years in Canada. She was an assistant manager there, and then they went to Rio and won the bronze at the Olympics. Whereas just oozes class whenever she's on the ball. Good switch as well. Hendrick breaks down. England have possession. Paris, opportunities. Mead to the left-hand side, Ellen White to the right, still into the channel. Ellen White, well played percentage. Beth Mead stopped her run. She stopped. She was ball watching, looking at Ellen White, and didn't continue the run. I think that Ellen White, it was a pass intended at Beth Mead.
I think Ellen White needs to get her head up there. The goalkeeper was out on a 6-yard line. She had a really high start position. If Ellen White gets her head up here, a little dink and she scores.
I think she was looking for Beth Mead, don't you?
I'd like to see her be a bit more selfish there.
Well, that's interesting you say that, because that's an area that Phil Neville believes that Ellen has again improved the game in becoming more selfish, which goal-scoring centre-forwards have to be.
Yeah, absolutely, and they need that innate selfishness to score goals, and I'd like to have seen her take that on.
Very cool. Oh, Marishan, lovely dip of the shoulder. It flew over. Just dropped her left shoulder, went on the inside, and it flew over.
It's not great defending there from England. She is a great player. You can't let her cut in on her right foot there.
Approaching 100 internationals for Germany. This is her 97th, 32 goals in that time. And has won the Champions League 3 times for Lille. Lucy Bronze will know all about her, and so will Nikita Paris. Oh, she just got clipped there. It's a painful one on the back of the Achilles. It's going to be a yellow card for Kleinhan.
She's in quite a bit of discomfort there.
Oh, she is in real pain. just there.
In the back of the Achilles, they're sore. They are sore.
And England will be mindful of their responsibilities with Leon.
I'm hoping she'll get back up, but they have got Rachel Daly. They've also got Lauren Hemp, a young talent on the bench that could, you know, has got pace and direct and go by people. So they've got options if they need to take her off.
Well, I think the plan was to bring on Hemp at some stage, because Phil Neville has been hugely impressed with her in training over the last few days. The 19-year-old Manchester City youngster. And it's not been a happy evening so far for Nikita Paris, whose penalty was saved in the first half. She's now missed 3 of the last 4. Actually scored away from the spot this season in the friendly against Belgium in the 3-3. It was a really painful one, right down the back of the Achilles. Young Kleinham was very quick to apologise. Don't think there was, again, anything malicious in it. It was just awkward, really. Got too tight, mistimed it. Or am I being a little bit generous to her? What do you think?
No, I don't. I think it's just a coming together. I don't think she's meant that at all. I think she's got too tight and their foot pattern crossed, and she's happened to obviously tread on the back of her Achilles.
Henrik. Right then towards Sandra Stark. James Scott popped awkwardly off her foot. Henrik couldn't clear it away effectively. Henrik couldn't keep it in play either. And then defender.
They've not been great tonight in terms of clearing the danger out of their 18, England. It seems the surface at times is almost too quick for them to adapt their feet and get the right contact.
On the pitch, Nikita Paris, as you said, there are options on the bench. And fairly strong in the wide positions offensively. Teal Scott couldn't get through on that one. Everett for Germany. This is a good run by her. Dragged the shot wide, but that's what she's capable of. That's more like the run she used to deliver when she played in the wider positions.
She's a good player, De Brit. She was one of the German players that played every minute in that World Cup, and experienced now, knows how to get forward, also does a defending job very well.
As I mentioned in the second half, she was their top scorer actually in the World Cup finals. Deverett's got 3 goals. But she's one of 4 players in this starting lineup who've scored a hat-trick so far in European qualifiers. Top will give chase. Steph Norton is there, got something on it. And it gave Mariottes work to do. Germany press again, Reinhardt. Pass from Bull. Awkward bounce. Quick delivery away towards Ellen White. Even if she won it, there's no one there to get the second ball. She thought she was fouled there. And Hegery. Laura Bonds. And that's awkward for the goalkeeper because of the pace. On this pitch as well. Now Paris for England. Little header on to Ellen White. Flag stays down. White goal side of Dawson, and she fouled her. Well, Dawson is on a yellow card. She's glaring at Ellen White.
I think it was tight offside there. She looked to be a yard offside, Ellen.
I've seen a goal again at half-time. I thought she was offside for the goal, to be honest, but was it offside there? And B, was it a foul by Dawson? If it was, she would have had to go. Hasn't looked completely convincing. Wolfsburg defender. He's only had 1 start this season for a club. It was against Freiburg in the big 8-0 win at the weekend. They're strolling it to Wolfsburg at the moment. Nikita Paris. Well, was she offside when this ball's played up to her? Difficult to tell. I think she's just on. It's no foul for
No, it's not a foul. She's done well just to get her body between Ellen and the ball there.
Marizan, will she whip this? Will she float it? Pop is on the far side of the penalty area. It's Hedwin who's the furthest across. And it floats. It's a good header away, under pressure there, and England felt they should have had a foul. It's launched over by Kleinhern. England felt in the middle there was a push on Alex Greenwood, I think it was.
Good to see England defending that well. Good first contact, good distance on the header. Always gives them a chance to clear the lines.
77,768 in the crowd. Not quite the 82,000 we were told to expect here today. But nonetheless, it is a record for an England women's international on this ground. Everyone here today, part of history. Previous record 45,619, England 0, Germany 3, November 2014. On that day 10,000 tickets went unused due to transport problems in London. It's make you feel proud. You've been part of this whole development.
I said, you know, when I stepped out the tube last night and I looked down Wembley Way and I saw all the faces on all the lampposts, it actually made me feel really emotional, really proud, because I know I've been in the game a long time, as you know, you saw the legends walking around. I'm proud for all of those people that have paved the way for this game to be where it is, and the small part that we've played in the history of this game and where it is now. It's in an incredible place, and it's because of everybody, players, coaches, staff working behind the scenes, a lot of the time voluntary, without pay, to put it on this platform.
Could England take the lead from this platform? It was a good run down the right-hand side. Lucy Bronze involved, and when she has got forward, she really has worried Glenn Kleinhern. Greenwood will take it. 4 beyond the far post to time their runs. Bronze is part of that quartet, Scott and White, and Steph Houghton, the captain. Lucy Bronze was devastating at set pieces in World Cup 15. We haven't seen that from her since. It's aimed at her or beyond her, and cleared up and away by the substitute Hegerer.
Alex Greenwood has got a great left foot. I'd like to see a delivery wrapped under that crossbar, put that goalkeeper under a bit of pressure. She's just conceded 8 goals. She can't be coming into this game full of confidence.
Absolutely tanked at the weekend. Well, Wolfsburg, she's conceded 24 club goals this season in 10 games from just 3 and 8 internationals for Germany. But she's only in because Almut Schultz she had a shoulder operation after the World Cup final. She's their first choice. Very quick up there to have a word, and Alex Greenwood as well. Goalkeeper was Angora, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I remember the likes of Silke Rottenberg, who I thought was an incredible goalkeeper for Germany for so many years.
As Lucy Bronze began to find freedom. She didn't get a shout there that the defender was coming at her. That's poor communication, England. Really poor. But Ellen White looked foraging again, and Lucy Bronze in there. But she's on the seat of her pants, which means maybe that Clara Bull, who was the German player coming back at her, can get freedom. Julia Walsh has seen that danger and dropped back into the right back position. And as Lucy Bronze there in the middle of your picture gets back.
Again, England win the ascendancy and trying to attack, and they had 4 versus 1 left at the back. If they're going to try and win the game, they might have to commit a little bit more numbers around the ball and above the ball, and take a few more risks.
Germany, as this is picked up and up by Hegel, he had 5 up front there and strung out on the line. Marishan has dropped a little bit deeper, and so too McGull, who picked that up. Marishan's away on that far side of it. He's wandered around the pitch with great effect. And this is a good ball back to McGull. It's a good move by Germany. And it was very nearly a goal, and might well be, and is. McGull restores the German lead, and it's offside. Bill with the shot, the goalkeeper spilled. McGool was quickly onto it and denied by the flag.
This is great link-up play from Germany, but you've got to get out and you've got to block shots.
She's well off, isn't she?
Yeah, she is offside. I think Mary will be disappointed with a parry there. She's got a parry away from danger, but you know, fortunately the player's offside.
When the first shot came in, she was offside. When she closed on the goalkeeper active, flag went up. But the way they built that up was menacing to watch from up here. What it was like to defend against.
It's fantastic. What they do is they go up against the back four and they just pull off into them little spaces in between where the defender doesn't know whether to come or stay.
Duel on the outside of Bronze, cross to the far stick. Was beaten in the air there by Sandra Stark. She hadn't featured for Germany since the under-19s in 2011-12 and came back in to international reckoning against Greece last month and scored. This is the disallowed goal again. Keeper gave herself a lot of work to do, moving to the left, got back, saved it, can only parry it to McGool, but it couldn't count anyway.
I don't know if it's just my eyes, but at 64 minutes, England are looking a little bit fatigued. Looking like they don't want to get numbers forward, looking a little bit tired now. See Leah Williamson on her haunches there. This would be probably the highest intensity game she's played in her career.
Germany going to make a double substitution. In Bremer for Manchester City is coming on Alexandra Pop. And the second substitution for them. Turid Knapp coming on and facing Starker. Double substitution then for Germany. And we know all about.
I played with Turid Knapp at Arsenal. She was there for a season. Really pleased to see her in this Germany team. A great character and she's got good ability on the ball.
So, 12th international. Forward from Essen. England have a free kick here right on the edge of the German penalty area. Germany have conceded a number of these as the game has gone on.
They have. I think obviously Jill's been clever there, flicked overhead, took the foul, and this is a very dangerous area for Germany with someone like Alex Greenwood standing over the ball.
Into the second half. 25 to go. Crucial time.
I'd like to see Alex. I know it's ambitious, but I'd like to see Alex Greenwood shoot from here. You know, with her left foot, she can wrap that. Give the goalkeeper a problem.
3 in the wall. Marijan in the middle. And is there, and also Lena McGool. And once again, this England ploy of having 4 beyond the far post to make the run across the penalty area. It's whipped by Greenwood. It's not that far away.
Just too high, wasn't it? I think they had the right line, just the wrong height. Interesting, England are now trying to stop Germany playing, pressing high, disturb their rhythm.
Confirmation of the crowd read out to the spectators at Wembley. There you are. You can hear what they're saying. Great roar from the crowd, part of history. You would have thought 77,768 would be at Wembley to watch an England's Women International. You wouldn't have thought that, not even 5-6 years ago. It's wonderful.
Amazing day for the women's game, for those players out there and for the coaching staff.
And all this growth, explosion of interest in the women's game, the players remain, thankfully, untouched by it all. They haven't changed. They're still very approachable. I've said before in commentary, it's very much like the England players were I was lucky enough to stay with Bobby Robson's England men team throughout World Cup 1990. For me, it's like a throwback to those days. It's incredibly enjoyable.
And I hope that never changes. I think it makes the women's game different. The players are approachable, they're grounded, they're humble, and they need to stay that way.
There's Paris. People will say, well, the pressures are completely different. But pressures are growing. Level of expectancy growing on the women's game. There's a problem there. News gone down. Germany carry on playing. The fans don't like it.
It looks like Lauren Hemp's ready to come on, getting her instructions on the sideline.
Always a concern when Jordan Nobbs goes down, given her injury history in the last 12 months or so. It's a twisting injury. Yeah, she just knocked on the shin.
You don't want to see that with Jordan, especially she's worked so hard to come back from that ACL injury, and when you see a twist like that, it's never easy on the eye.
Oh, Hemp's going to come on for England, you know. A special moment for her. It's a corner kick to Germany. Pass them away mark in the second half. Germany going to make another substitution. Melanie Leupolz, experienced player, is going to come on. In comes the corner. Gentle save. Williamson, Walsh, was there to pressurise her. They play the percentages. A substitute. Experienced player, 64 internationals. And Sarah de Brits is going away. Bayern Munich. Played 4 games in the World Cup finals. Wasn't in the squad in Euro 17. Played 45 minutes of that fourth half against England in Edmonton.
Boss Stecklenburg wanting to keep some experience on Wembley there. One experienced player off, another one on.
She's gone away towards the left-hand side to try her luck over there. Switch of left knee. Played in the second half. Say that Germany are in transition. If they can bring on the likes of Leupolz for Bevel, it shows the strength they've got, and they've got these youngsters coming through as well. Are piqued by the fact that they, Euro 17 in the quarters to Denmark. That was largely unexpected, and that's Sweden in World Cup 19.
I always think it's interesting when the wide players swap over in a team. If I'm Germany, I'm thinking, we've actually done our job because they've swapped over to have Joy on the other side.
Hemper's going to come on for England, and Rachel Daly as well. Jodie Taylor there is coming on as well. And White will depart. I never wanted to get an hour out of her in her comeback international. She's lasted 71 minutes.
Looks like the entire front three might be changed.
Yeah. Paris, Mead and White, we think, are going off. And then will come Hemp, Rachel Daly, who plays up front on either side for her club at Houston in America. She's playing at right back, of course, for most of her England career. Jodie Taylor, the US-based player, will come on as well. Ellen White's performance for you, Casey?
I think she's started where she left off in the World Cup. Scored a great goal, one-touch finish. Obviously, if she's offside, she's offside. I'll be honest, like I said, I don't care. She scored. It's a fantastic finish, and she's caused Germany problems. So, she's invaluable to this team at the moment.
Ellen White. just took the game by the scruff of its neck, said, I've had enough, I'm going to get England back into this.
Yeah, and you know what, it's hard work sometimes that gets you back in the team, and she's a grafter. And what she's added to her game is she's very clinical now too.
Rachel Daly on for England, Jodie Taylor on for England, and Hampton as well. And we started in the wide right position, as we expected her to. Scott got the challenge in. She scores rather freely for a Houston Dash. 11 in the last 25 games. They finished 7th in the table.
Yeah, the American League will suit Rachel Daly's strengths. She's quick, she's powerful, and the American League is very transitional, so I'm not surprised that she's scoring goals over there.
Bull for Germany. Bronze back there with her, doubling up with Lucy Bronze. Lucy Bronze was fouled. Three of the starters for Germany today were in that Freiburg team, smashed at the weekend. And Wolfsburg 8-0. And they are playing at Wembley in an international final game, as someone once said. Hager with the clearance and towards Bremer, whose Manchester City career has been really stop-start because of injuries. Bronze broke her leg, Darlene Bremer, to Manchester City in October 17 out until December of last year. She's done decent form in this campaign, 8 goals. Kemp. How impressed the whole of the English coaching staff has been about her in the week.
She's a fantastic young talent. You know, she's very direct, she's hard-working, she can go by people, she's got pace, she can come inside and outside. She's got a very bright future in the game.
I think might would have fouled Kleinhahn there, but the referee's playing on. It's cut in the corner by Marie-Jeanne. She gets the ball, she either keeps it or uses it. Stanway's also warming up for England. It's a 50-yard challenge that leaves Lucy Bronze down.
Well, I wonder how many times Müller has to foul Lucy Bronze before the referee starts to protect Lucy a little bit and maybe gives her a yellow card.
Well, England's fast raiding right back hasn't been able to get forward at will because of the work done on her by Bull. With the pressure there, and Williamson for England. And in the last quarter hour, still Thornton. And Williamson. First 20 minutes, you could only see a hefty German victory here. The next 25 minutes, England edged their way back into it. By half-time, you could see an England victory. The second half has been very tight. Here comes Georgia Stanway, who was originally in the squad to see if she could get back to fitness levels at international level, and then elevated through to a participation role, and off goes Jordan Nobbs, who's feeling her way back into the international level, I think.
Yeah, I think that's a good 76 minutes in the bank for Jordan. I think when you come back from such a significant injury, it can sometimes take you 6 to 8 months post being back to really get back to the best levels you want to be at. And I think Jordan's, you know, getting back there now, and she'll want to be playing for England. She'll want to be playing at club, you know, week in, week out to get back to those levels we know that Jordan can play at.
Under control by Bremer. Here comes Germany now. Lena McGull. It's a decent ball. Use of it. He's in the middle. This is really good work here now by Knack. And get it away. Daly's stretching into it. An England throw. Deflected off their ports by Rachel Daly. Bright, bubbly character. She did a podcast in the World Cup with Millie Bright. You may well have watched her at times. It was very funny indeed. Kleinhahn. going to be a corner kick. Two of the England players, you pointed this out about 5-10 minutes ago, look absolutely leaden-legged.
They do, they're starting to look tired. Like I said before, is it the occasion? Is it the heavy pitch?
In comes that corner. It's by Lucy Bronze. They need to get to the second ball and do. With the captain, Steph Horton there, here's Daly. Get the benefit of the bounce, Hegering turn. The shot was always going wide. I think the German coach Martina Voss-Tecklenburg will be pretty pleased with the fact they've come here and they've had 12 efforts on goal now.
And they've really minimised what England have been able to create.
She's attacking midfield player today with Germany. She scored 27 times for her country, won the European Championships, the coach in 89, 91, 95 and 97. Neville was an England squad for a major World Cup finals, the Europeans. See if he took this heartache of being left out of those final squads. Use it as an inspiration for himself. Here's McGill. Potts couldn't force it through. Jill Scott got the pass. She's been caught late. She's caught late. It wasn't a good challenge. I don't think Stephanie Frappart has been strong enough for the referee.
No, I would agree. I think that a lot has gone unnoticed for a start and then unchallenged in terms of yellow cards.
Got there late. It's particularly nasty, but it's... I think it was worthy of a yellow. To Daly, not a good touch, and that's a poor challenge as well. Swept away the feet of Lena McGill.
Unfortunately, that was a case of chasing the first touch.
McGill, good player. He was under 20 European Championship winning captain. 2014 that was. And it did well getting forward down that hand side. Here's Marijan, just gives herself a yard of space. It's been outstanding. Everything about her display. Here's McGill. Almost in the middle. Flipped it off. Marijan then continued her run, creating danger. Stopped by Kira Walsh.
It's like she just dictates when she wants to change gear, and she plays the game at her own tempo, her own plays. She gives, she goes. She's got quality. She's got a great first touch, good passing ability, and she's always on the move.
And she'll take this corner kick now and drove it towards the far post. Good corner. Hitting at force. Julie Taylor's first touch since coming on is to pressurise Kleinheld. Think about Marijan, you often hear this, it's overused, I think, oh, he's a 10, she's a 10. And Marijan genuinely is. Just floats all around the pitch, playmaking, devastating pass, great finisher. Here's Taylor. Pressure on her by Dawson, who thought she was fouled and might well have been, but it's a throw anyway to England.
Like I said earlier, I think what she doesn't get credit for is the stuff she does out of possession and how hard she works for her team.
Taylor closing down on Greenwood. Bronze. Massive if England could go on and win this now, but the last 10 minutes have belonged to Germany, who have Lena Latvine warming up. She's an attacking midfield player. She's played 4 times for her country. She plays for Hoffenheim, second in the table at the moment. Oh, come on. Magul. Bronze. These German substitutions, though, their rhythm may well be fragmented. It wasn't a good ball by Daly. England in the last 10 minutes have gone back to their bad old ways of the first 20.
Yeah, sloppy again, not enough intensity and tempo in their play, and just turning the ball over again. I'd like to have seen Rachel Daly travel with it there. You know, be a ball carrier, get your team up the pitch.
Dawson. Here's Hendrick. Williamson left it for the goalkeeper who got there in the end, Mary Earps, but it wasn't the most convincing of defensive partnerships there.
Substitution for Germany coming off the field.
Here comes the substitution. It's going to be Lena McGool, who goes, she played well in that midfield area.
Yeah, I think she's been really effective. I think she's just kept it ticking over. She's sat in when she's needed to. She's got forward and linked the play when she's needed to, and she's very rarely given the ball away.
Comes that line then. 19-year-old, been on the bench for a couple of their European Championship qualifiers. They're strong in their group at the moment. The next game, by the way, in Championship European qualifying is against Ireland at home. There's Taylor for England. On by Daly. This is Taylor. Touch took it away from Dawson, who's covering the ground very quickly. Taylor tried the little flick on when it comes to Bronze. And across to cover. Germany got it away. And they were hard pushed to get it away. Latvine, the substitute, covered the ground. Taylor just didn't have the pace to get away from Dawson, but that's clever. Would have been forced away from the ball by Kleinhorn there. But there's an obstruction it might have been given. Big crossfield ball, looking to bring Hemp into it, and she's got speed. And she's closed down there on Hendrick.
Hendrick showed a really good turn of pace there to cover the space.
It'll come to Taylor with it. She tries to get beyond the defender. Higgering did just enough. Ending up through the gears again. It's Hemp in field. Tied it up. Dawson, lucky to be on the pitch. And you see that challenge in the first half when that made you realise she should have gone for it. 5 minutes of the game remaining. That's poor from Williamson. Scott redeemed the situation. Walsh. That's a good ball if Daly can keep it in. Zip of the turf after the rain has taken it away. Great range of passing, Kira Walsh.
She's unbelievable when she gets on the ball. You know, she can exploit that space. It's unfortunate that's gone out. With Germany playing in a 4-4-2 now, with Jill Scott and Kira Walsh sitting a bit deeper, encouraging the two midfielders to step higher. They've got to try and find Georgia Stanway in that pocket between the midfielders and the defenders, and if they can get her faced up, she can cause all sorts of problems.
Given the number of games you play for England in defence and the way that you're Manchester, you've got the second tightest defence, I think, in the Solihull. Would you welcome an opportunity to go in and work with England, as well as your Manchester United duties at the moment, to help out maybe with defensive organisation?
I just haven't got the time, to be honest. If I did that, I just would never see my children. But listen, they've got fantastic coaches in there. Bev's in there, Phil's in there. You know, they know what they're doing. It's just about building partnerships, relationships, and potentially sticking with a back four.
Bronze looks for Taylor. And there it goes from Haggard. That was a little bit naughty of me as well, wasn't it? He's Marichal. She just held a position then, let the England midfield players run off her, so gave herself a yard of space again. And Buell came in from the left-hand side. The shot was blocked from Leopolds. England's captain is down, wounded by the shot. I think she's wounded. I think it buffeted into her left ankle.
Any young midfielders out there, I would advise them to watch Jennifer Marizan. Watch her on the ball, off the ball, how she dictates the game. She's so intelligent. Her game intelligence is one of the best I've seen in a women's game.
Did you notice that a minute ago when she just stopped?
Sometimes you just stand still to create space, and she did that. She let everybody run off, she stood still, and then she gives herself time.
Definitely think Germany would have progressed further in the quarterfinals had she been fully fit.
Yeah, she was a massive loss. It was a shame she got injured. It was the opening game, I believe, she got injured in.
Yeah, broke her toe. She came back and played that cameo against Sweden in the quarterfinals. Second half, I think. Nepolz, and whipped round the corner by Knack. And across to the far stick, looks for Bremer. Lucy Bronze defended well. Here's Buell. They need to get a challenge in there, England. And the shot was blocked by Steph Houghton, who again partially limps away. That was really dangerous. England stood and watched. Good job for them. The captain was aware. Good build up again by Germany. And Lena Latvine, the substitute, couldn't get the cross in. Here's Walsh. Get into an awkward area, tight area there. England are absolutely out on their feet, one or two of them, in the last couple of minutes.
It's a great block by Steph Houghton, because that was on target.
Lepolz. With a cross. Latvine, free header again. Steph Houghton blocks. There was a little appeal by Bremer, a Manchester City teammate, for a handball. England went to break away and couldn't get the pass out by Georgia Stanway. Here's Clara Buell. Was deflected off Lucy Bronze. Driving header by Hemp carries away. There's a drive by young Kleinhan.
I have to ask the question, at what point we learn the lesson that we keep not going out to affect crosses. We're allowing crosses in the box, we're not marking in the box, got free headers. It needs to be corrected.
No, that's not a handball. She's in a bit of pain, Steph Houghton. I'd be very surprised if she goes off with the squad in the week. She's played a lot of football. Here's Buell on the outside and scores! Germany have won it! 89 minutes of England toil and strife against Germany at Wembley, and in the end Germany win it. No, we've been here before.
We have, and one of the youngest players on the pitch. You know, they win the ball again. It's Marizan, plays the ball down the side. Houghton doesn't get out and affect her quick enough. She thinks she's kept her outside, but it's not close enough to block a shot. And I have to say, it's very clinical finish.
7 goals for Germany in 10 internationals now, the 18-year-old. That's some finish.
I'm not sure Marion Gold can do a lot about that. It's a great finish. Shifts it onto her left foot.
Really good finish.
In terms of the striker's finish, that's what you're told to do. Go across the goal. Great finish.
One of the most impressive things about her, I know you were saying, when's the referee going to book her, but I've been impressed by her commitment to physicality. She's up against one of the such a tough defender, tough as a middle name, Lucy Bronze, and she's not shied away from that side of the game.
And do you know what's impressed me? A couple of times she's faced Lucy.
Oh, now Taylor's in here for England! That's the opportunity to level. She's offside, it wouldn't have counted.
A couple of times Bull has faced Lucy, and she hasn't cared that it's Lucy Bronze. She's faced her up, and she's had to go 1v1 there again. She's faced Steph Houghton up 1v1 and scored. She's not afraid.
4 minutes of stoppage time on a chilly, wet Wembley night. And England cannot shrug off the post-World Cup blues. They're up against quality opposition here. Yes, they went out in the last 8 in the Euros and in the World Cup finals. But they're rebuilding an international side in menacing style, Germany. Good balance, experience. And it's a fairly young team throughout, really. But now, what can Hemp do? 3 German players around her. That's quite impressive at this late stage. She's got minutes in an England shirt again. As Hemp. away by Marishat. A minute and a half left. Oh, there's a mistake there by Steph Houghton, and she's lucky to get away with it because I think she pulled down Clara Bull.
I can't understand what the referee's seen there. She's given away the ball, she's pulled her down, and the referee's played on. It's very, very fortunate for Steph Houghton and for England there.
Big occasion, not just for the players playing at Wembley Stadium, but for referee Stephanie Frappard. She's not had a very good game. Into the last minute of stoppage time.
I think Germany have showed today why they are number 2 in the world.
Coming on by Scott Taylor. Here's Lucy Bronze. Time is tight for England. Stanway, Bronze making the run outside. Little gap. And she exploited, just seen off there by the youngster Kleinhen. One last attack for England. Houghton. This would be 5 defeats in 7. Here's Houghton. And Bronze. And will be encouraged by the way they came back into the game. Bronze was taken out there, Scott was taken out there. And the referee is saying she's going to give the second one because it's further up the pitch.
That for me is repetitive fouls on Lucy Bronze. That's a yellow.
Oh, that's a yellow. She's got forehead to forehead there.
I think the referee's been caught in the limelight tonight.
Well, this will be England's last attack, the last attack of the game. Greenwood and Stanway conspire. The record crowd urges England on. If they can score here, it will feel like a win. It would lift everyone. It might get them going again after the World Cup blues. Stanway takes it to the far post area. The keeper's come. That's a big punch away. They will have no time to get it in, and Germany celebrates wildly on the pitch. Calmness from the coach, but it's a big win for them, coming to Wembley and winning again. And for Phil Neville and England, the concerns continue. They came back into it after a horrible first half where they trailed so early to Pop's header. Then White levelled, they'd squandered a penalty, and Bull got the winner late on. Casey, your final thoughts?
Again, I think England sloppy in possession. Moments of real good, but only moments, so it needs to be more consistent. Germany the better side tonight.
So, questions again to be answered. England beaten here at home by Germany by 2-1.
Thank you, Jonathan and Casey. So a disappointing end for England to a historic night here. The attendance confirmed as the biggest ever to watch a football match involving England in this country. The rain was relentless, and in many ways Germany were too. Credit to them, first of all, I think, because, you know, they are a good, exciting young team that have got great promise. England were not beaten by, you know, anybody sloppy below them in the world rankings that they should be, you know, kind of feel ashamed of in any shape or form.
No, absolutely. For as young and inexperienced in some departments, German team, I mean, they executed that game far better than England did. And if you're thinking in just over 18 months' time, England want to be out on this exact pitch in Euro 2021 final. They've got a lot of work to do to topple who are perennial champions, Germany.
With a coach who knows her way to the top of the podium and a team that looks like it's going places, England stalling again, Kelly.
Yeah, they weren't at the races, especially the first 20 minutes. We spoke about that at half-time, and I just feel like they didn't create enough chances in the second half. They never really looked like scoring, and certainly when Ellen White went off, it was a bit of a lull for a few minutes. But Germany are a top-class side, and they have been for a number of years. They're resilient, they're hard to beat. And it just wasn't England's night tonight, but like Rachel said, they have a lot of work to do, especially playing out from the back. There's too many sloppy passes coming into the midfield, and then Germany are so close to coming to the own goal.
It was 5 defeats in 7, that defeat tonight, and it was obviously very close to being a draw, which would have put a completely different complexion on things, and maybe the victory for Germany was justified on balance. Let's have a look at the goal though, Rachel.
No, it was justified. They dominated shots on target, they dominated possession, and they've executed when they've needed to. A little bit of brilliance, the way that Marchand gets the ball there and turns and slips it down the side to Bull. Lovely little touch with the right foot to cut it on a left. And as Casey said in commentary, Mary Epps is not going to save that, but it was the same story. Not enough pressure in danger areas when Germany were in the danger areas, not enough pressure from the defence.
Kelly, I'll let you get in just a moment, but Phil Neville is with Joe Curry. Let's hear his thoughts.
Well, Phil, a tough night all round, especially losing so late on. How do you reflect on the evening?
Well, it was a killer blow later on. I thought we competed really well in the game, and then obviously we conceded late on because we didn't use our experience in keeping the ball. We didn't use our experience in terms of game management, and we became a little bit ragged. The substitutions we made to give us an impetus, to give us legs, and then we just lost our momentum a little bit. And the players are devastated because they wanted to get a good result and they haven't. And you know what? We've just got to take that.
There were moments in the game where England could have won it, but when you look at the wider picture of results since the World Cup, it's now 1 win in 7. Are you getting the best out of these players?
Well, the results aren't good enough. I've got to say the results aren't good enough. There's no hiding away from that fact. But I've got to say that there is a long-term plan that we have, and results obviously make people believe in the long-term plan that you're having. We're not getting those at the moment. We've got to stick in. We've got to take what comes our way, the criticism, whatever comes our way, and we've got to stick together. That's the only thing you can do in football.
Do you feel let down by the players tonight?
Absolutely not. I think when we spoke at half-time, we spoke about them being more brave and more courageous in the ball and sticking to the game plan. They did that. They did that after the 22nd minute. I can't fault their endeavour, their determination, their will to win. It's just moments at the moment are costing us.
It's an uncomfortable thought, but some may argue that you may not be the man to lead this team forward. What do you say to that?
Well, I don't listen to those types of people that are saying those types of things. I've been in football long enough that as a manager you've got to take the responsibility. I do take the responsibility. It is a lot to do with me, and we've just got to make sure that I improve as a manager and the players will improve too.
Thanks for speaking to us, Phil.
Let's pick up on that point then, because there has been talk of pressure building. That result won't help that situation. Well, he talks about long-term plan. Do you feel that he will get the time he needs to bring on and bring through these players?
Yeah, I do. He's got a contract till after 2021. The Euros hosted here in England.
And the Olympics, of course, as well.
And the Olympics in between. But the pressure is really from the FA, who are his employers, for the 2021. We're hosting it the first time. We'll have hosted it since 2005. It's a different animal now. But he's got to start delivering at some point. Yeah, he's saying there's a long-term game plan, but we need results.
And just a word on the historic nature of tonight. Result aside, the biggest attendance ever to watch a football match involving England in this country. To see at that moment when the lights went on, the attendance was put up, it did send tingles, didn't it?
Yeah, goosebumps, definitely. You look around and you see so many young kids here and families. They've made this such a momentous occasion. It's in history now. The England players didn't deliver tonight, but it's just fantastic to see so many people attend this game.
Thank you so much, Kelly. Rachel, as always, England's next match Tuesday, 7 o'clock against the Czech Republic on BBC 4. Here, though, well, it was just another chapter in what is turning out to be an incredible journey for English women's football.
England against Germany, it's always special. Oh, it's in the back of the net, Germany lead. Ellen White, brilliant finish. Flag stays down, and that is thoroughly deserved. Here's Buell on the outside and scores. 89 minutes of England toil and strife against Germany at Wembley, and in the end, Germany win it.